So welcome everyone to week 2 of our machine learning fundamentals. Okay, this is week 2 and I'll introduce myself. My name is Olive Iluyomade. I'm an IT consultant covering various areas of IT, and I have over 25 years of experience. And I do have a few Microsoft certifications, and I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer. Okay, so our objective for today will be to understand how machines learn from data. Okay, how machines learn from data. So we're going to explore machine learning, and we will look at a model. So our case study will be to create an AI model, just a simple model on customer churn. Does anyone know what customer churn is before we go on? Customer churn, anybody? So that's just basically the rate at which customers leave. Okay, the customers for a business, how many are leaving due to one reason or the other. So we'll look at that simple model at the end of the learning. Okay. So what is machine learning? Machines learn the same way that human beings learn, okay, by being fed with information. Okay, so you teach computers to learn, and they learn patterns from data. Okay, now the same way you would teach a child when a child is small, you would the child is learning the alphabet, the child is learning parts of the body, the child is learning different kinds of animals. Now, how do they learn about different kinds of animals? They see many examples of a cat or dog, for instance. Okay, so they learn about them and know how to distinguish them. So when they see a real dog, they know it's a dog. When they see a real cat, they know it's a cat. Okay, so the same way, an AI model is fed with information or data. Okay, you would load many pictures of cats, the different kinds of cats that there are, the different kinds of dogs that there are. But all other information like colors, what color is pink, what color is green, it's fed with all that information. Okay, and it works differently from a search engine. With a search engine, there's existing data from various companies or individuals, etc. And when you ask for something, it will give you a whole list, okay, of data that has already been uploaded to the internet, and you look through and you choose. But with artificial intelligence, especially generative artificial intelligence, what happens is that it's being taught, it's being trained with data. Okay, so when somebody asks, for instance, puts in a prompt or a request that please show me a picture of a pink cat. Okay, even though a pink cat might not necessarily exist, but then it already has information about what a cat looks like, and it also has information about what the pink color looks like. So it would then generate a picture of a pink cat. Okay, so the difference between the artificial intelligence and a search engine is that a search engine just shows you existing information that has been uploaded, okay, by various people. With artificial intelligence, generative AI, it creates for you, it generates based on your response. Okay, so it looks through all the data or information it has, and it generates something for you. So you can imagine that artificial intelligence model will be loaded with millions and millions of data, okay, to be able to do that for you. In fact, some companies, I'm not sure whether anyone has heard about all these AI training jobs, freelance jobs. Yeah, so it's obviously companies that are either improving their artificial intelligence models, or they want to start an artificial intelligence model. They have to do a lot of training, and they use people to do that training, and they pay them. Okay, they have various tasks, data annotation, and various areas, especially in the IT area. Okay, so what they're doing is they're training their models. Okay, so how do you teach the machine? You put historical examples and patterns in to the machine. You load them in. The machine learns by finding relationships automatically. Okay, and then it makes decisions on new data. So that new data would be when you put in a request. Okay, it will now make a decision. This person has asked for a pink cat. Okay, I know I have the pink color in here. I know I have pictures of cats, so it will just give you any species of a cat. If you are more specific, it will give you something more specific, because most likely it would have all that information. So that's machine learning in a nutshell. So we have three types of machine learning. Three types. We have the supervised, okay? We have the unsupervised, and we have the reinforcement. Okay, so supervised is like, a teacher in class teaching you, showing you examples, and giving you the answers as well. So with supervised, the machine learns from labeled examples. The examples are labeled. Okay. With unsupervised, the machine learns by finding hidden patterns. Okay, there are no labels provided. The machine has to find those hidden patterns. Okay, then we have reinforcement, where the machine learns by trial and error. Okay, and gets rewarded for good actions. Reinforcement, things like games. With games, or let me focus on games, for instance. When people are playing games, there can be various outcomes to that game. Player A could win this time, player B could win the next time. There are various moves, you understand, that the players will play. So that one is trial and error. You understand? Not like fixed information. Okay. So sorry. Can you still see my screen? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
I
Okay.
can.
You can. Okay. Just hold on for me. Okay. So let's move to our next slide. So we're going to look at supervised learning in more detail. Okay. Supervised learning, as I said, is like learning with a teacher. Okay, so the data that you give the machine has labels. Okay, so the model then learns the input and output. So first of all, there's input, and then the output mapping. It learns that. So in a way, it's like flashcards that you use for studying for exams or tests. Okay, you have your information on the front. Okay, and then you have answers on the back, or questions, you have answers on the back. Okay, and this particular learning is most common in business. So some examples are email spam detection. Okay, so is it an email comes in, is it spam, is it not spam? Right? Is it spam? Is it not spam? Now, the way the machine knows whether it is spam or not is from what it has learned. It's been provided with some information, some kinds of emails, and it's been told that those are spam, that type is spam, then provides another one, these ones are not spam. So it's that learning, yeah, that it already has, that it would use to determine whether an incoming email is spam or not. Okay, then we have house price predictions as well. Okay, from the pattern and everything, what will the house price be next month, next year, in 5 years' time? Okay, Then customer churn as well, in a way, is a prediction. When a customer comes in newly, is there for some time, how do we determine whether this customer will stay or leave? It will be based on information, the customer behavior, what the customer does, and it will look at past information about what customers have done and is able to kind of make a close to accurate decision about whether this particular customer will stay or leave. So unsupervised learning, okay, so with unsupervised learning, the machine is looking or finding different patterns, okay. Now, an example is maybe when you're sorting your laundry, our clothes and different items, linen, but let's use clothes as an example, have different labelings. Some will say wash with, don't wash with colors, deep colors, or don't, even don't wash, right? Or don't wash in a washing machine. Some will say it has to be hand washed. Some will say it has to be dry cleaned. Okay, so there are different groupings there like that. So in a way, that's how with unsupervised learning, you would see like a cluster of customer data. So without actually being told that what's it called, what to look for, yeah, what to look for, it can see from patterns, yeah, what the outcome would be. Okay, so if I still focus on the laundry now, if you have a white outfit, you most likely won't put it in a washing machine with an outfit that is you kind of know that it would give off color, yeah, or it looks like it would give off color, yeah. So you won't want to take that risk. What you would do is you wash white with white. Okay, so as we said, no labels provided. It looks for natural groupings, put all the whites together, colors together, type of fabrics together, okay. And it discovers patterns that humans will also miss, right? It discovers those patterns because it's intelligent. It's really intelligent, and it does an exploratory analysis. So some examples are customer segmentation. That's putting customers into groups according to either their behavior or similarities. Okay. Market basket analysis. Okay. Anomaly detection. So anomaly just means that particular data is different from majority of the data. You look out for such things. Okay. So our reinforcement learning, okay, I had mentioned that that's like with our games, okay. So the AI or the model learns through rewards and penalties, okay. So it's like training a dog with treats. Those people that give their dogs bones. If the dog is well behaved, you give it a bone. If it's not, it knows that it won't get any bone. Okay, so it's not used for things like churn prediction, which is customers leaving. It's not used for all that. It's used to power games, self-driving cars, etc. So that's your reinforcement, trial and error. Sorry about that. Yeah. So let's go on to our next slide. So these are tasks that we do within our machine learning. Okay, our machine learning. So we have classification first. So with our classification, we're going to predict which category of customers will churn or which ones will stay. Okay, which email is spam, which one is not spam. Okay, so that's a classification or categorization, but it's called classification here. Which animal is a dog? Which one is a bird? Which one is a cat? Okay, then we have regression. Okay, with regression, it's things like predicting numbers, house price. Okay, what's the house price going to be in the future? What's the temperature going to be? Weather forecast. Okay, what's the temperature going to be tomorrow? What's the temperature going to be next week? You want to have an event in August, but you want to have it on a day that it's not going to rain at all. Okay, so regression is used to predict these numbers. And then sales forecast as well. What will the annual sales for the company be in the future? Okay, then we also have clustering. Okay, clustering groups similar items like customer segments that we looked at before, products that are similar, they'll be grouped together like toilet roll, various types of toilet roll all together. You know, no labels are needed for that. We just see the similarity in the items and group them together. That's called clustering. So we have classification, we have regression, and we have clustering. So all these tasks are what we use to train the model. Okay, so features and labels. Remember, we spoke a lot about labels earlier on. Okay, so when we are doing supervised learning, okay, when we're doing supervised learning, we will take note of what the features are of this data. Okay, features of this data. So if it's a customer now, for instance, let's use our customers because we're working on customer churn. How old is each of these customers? How old? What's their monthly spend? Okay. Have they raised any queries or complaints? Have they requested for support? How many support tickets have they had? And how long have they been with the business? Okay, how long have they been a customer? So those we call features, and those are what we will input. Okay, we'll input this kind of information for each customer, right? Now the labels are our outputs. Okay, that's the labels are outputs. So churned, is it yes, is it no? Okay, now so with this information is what we're using to train the model and how they're going to predict. Yeah, remember it's history, it's data that has already happened. So they have all the information, they have the features of the customer, and we have whether they have churned or not. Okay, so that one is put in. Then later you now have some new data that you would test based on this information. Okay, so we like a spreadsheet, which is what we're going to look at later. We will have columns with features, the customer data, yeah, the features, and we would have based on information whether they are going to churn or not. The labels are like the answer column, okay, that we want to fill in for new customers. Okay, for new customers based on what's happened with previous customers. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me. Okay, I mentioned testing just a minute ago. Now, the model is trained with training data and testing data. Okay, but the concept that we usually use, we split that data. Okay, so percentage wise, 80% of the 80% of the data that we put in is the training data, and 20% is the test data. Okay, so that training data, we'll put it in, and the machine has to learn patterns. Okay, learn patterns from the training data. Then we test the model, yeah, on the test data. Okay, to test it to see how it will work on new customers, for instance. Okay, so if you test on training data alone, you would get some accuracy, but that accuracy it won't be it won't be true. It will be high, but it will not be true. So we need new data which we would use to test. Okay, so training data, the model studies the data. The model learns patterns. Yeah, just like you're studying for an exam, right? Then you go for the exam. Now, for the test data, the model hasn't seen that data before. It's going to rely on what it's been trained on. Okay, so with your test data, you now test the performance of the model. Did it get things right? So this is something that, you're training, you're testing. It might not get it right the first time. You do it over and over again till, you're satisfied with its outputs. Okay, just like an exam, it can pass, it can fail. Okay, so we don't test on training data. Yeah, that's like cheating. Okay, yeah. So the model has to prove itself that it's able to give us accurate data at the end of the day. So how are models evaluated? Okay, we can say accuracy is when you have 92 out of 100 right. So from 92% upwards, we will say that the model has performed well. Okay, so with our customers, if the model says churn, okay, you look at all the churns, what percentage of the churn is correct and what percentage is wrong? It has to be at least 92% to what do you call it, for us to say it's accurate. Okay, has to be at least 92%. Next is precision. Okay, avoid false alarms. Okay, avoid false alarms. So when there's it predicts a churn, we have to make sure that it is right so that we don't act on the wrong information. Okay, so then we have recall. Of the actual people that have churned, or it has said, oh, okay, we'll churn, how many do we find? Okay, how many do we find? Because what will happen is that with that information, we don't want to miss out the customers that are actually going to churn, right? We don't want to miss them out, so we have to be sure that the ones that are churning, they are churning, and it is accurate, so that we can make the next decision on what to do to try and keep those customers that are likely to churn. Okay, so we have accuracy, we have precision, and we have recall. Okay, so we have come to the end of at least the slide training. We'll go into the practical bit now. Are there any questions before we go on to the practical bit? Are there any questions? Any questions? Any in the chat? You can unmute and talk. as I can't see the chat at the moment. So this is machine learning. Yeah. So what we've looked at is basically how machines learn. Okay. Okay. Can somebody please read out what our column names are here? Let me expand those that need to be expanded. Okay. So what columns do we have here?
A, B, C, D, E, F.
No, under that. So those are the column labels, but we have column names. Let me try and make them bolder so that you can see them.
The first one should be customer ID, customer name,
Yes.
amount as customer, complaint monthly.
That's too dark. Okay.
Then monthly spend.
Yes.
Then churned.
Then churned. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Who spoke, please?
Muideen. Muideen.
Okay, Muideen, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Muideen. Okay. So we have our customer. Yeah, that's just the index number. Hold on. Let me. Customer ID. Then we have customer name. Then we have how many months have they been as customers, right? How many complaints? Sorry. How many complaints have they made? And monthly spend. Okay. So this is what we'll just do here is to kind of understand how the AI model would work. What are the factors do you think you would look out for to determine whether to get this what's it called, the final answer of whether the customer will churn or not?
Shows the times of complaints.
Times of complaints. Thank you very much. Yeah, the number of times they have complained. Thank you very much. Now, let's look at row 4. What do you think about row 4? Michael
Adeyemi.
Yes. What do you think about Michael Adeyemi? It's the prediction that he's going to churn or he's already churned. This is information that has already happened. But can we see how if the model was given this data without the churned column and it was going to predict, yeah, whether it's going to churn, do you think that information will be correct as a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
I think so.
Why?
Because they apparently they had they shopped from them 4 times, and each of the time they shopped, like there was a complaint.
Okay, I like that. You said they shopped 4 times. Okay, that bit is not
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
You see?
Okay, got it. Okay, that's number of months they have in there.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's my bad. But I was thinking that's the number of period they've shopped from there.
Okay.
It's a bit tiny for my eyes. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry about that. I was trying to hold on. Let me make it bigger. Where's my zoom? Let's make it 125. And make it more.
Perfect. Thank
150.
you.
You're welcome. So sorry about that, but thank you for speaking up. Yeah. Okay, so that's a good one. Does anyone else want to add? So sorry, who spoke?
Precious.
Precious.
Abraham.
Thank you, Precious. Does anyone else want to add to what Precious said?
Yes, just to add to what Precious said, for the short time he has stayed, he has made complaints and affected his monthly spend. He didn't spend so much. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I like that. So he's only been there 4 months and he's already made 4 complaints. Do you understand? So if the company is not careful, he might even make more or decide he's going to leave. You understand? Because it's showing that he hasn't really been satisfied so far. Okay? He hasn't really been satisfied. Okay, what would you say about Choma Eze? Number 7.
Satisfied customer.
Satisfied customer, right? Why? Why would you say he's satisfied?
Been there for long, and I think from what I'm seeing here, she has the highest monthly spend and no complaint.
I really like that. You say he has the highest monthly spend. Okay, what I'm going to do is we'll check whether he has the highest or not. You know, we are only on row 11. I think they're about 30, so we'll check. But I like what you said there. But there's still something that you haven't said though. Or have you said it? Yeah, 30. Okay.
But she hasn't made any complaint for staying so long.
He has not made. Thank you. He's not made any complaints. And he's been there for 42 months. How many years is 42 months?
Well,
Almost 2 years, 1 year.
Almost 2, right?
No, almost 4 years.
No,
Almost 4 years.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand? And no complaint whatsoever. So it's like this customer is not going anywhere. You understand? And at the end of the day, yes, a company is made to look after its customers, but is also meant to pay special attention to those who are on the risk of leaving. Okay, risk of leaving. So this kind of data is important, very important. Let me not there. Let me go to data. Let me see whether I can who's made the most complaints. I want to find that out. Filter. Okay. Top to bottom. Let's see what is it. Okay, no, we want highest to lowest. Okay, so let's look at these people that have made the most complaints. That's 5 complaints. Yeah, there's a number of people. So let's have a look through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, some have no. Do you understand? Not churned. Some have yes. Can somebody, who spoke last now? Please, when you speak, please let me know your name. I'd love to get to know you. Who spoke last? Ugoma. Thank you, Ugoma. Okay. So, yes. So can somebody pick any of these? So they all have 5 complaints, but why are some staying? Why are some not staying? Why are some staying? Why are some not staying?
So I am not. I'm just kind of like going to respond to that based on personal experiences. I feel when it comes to getting from that business, maybe what I am getting from them, I don't really get any complaint because it has actually happened to me in real life, while other people are getting I'm getting something from the other, like from them, other products, and they have some complaints about that. So maybe that could be the reason in this case as well. But I'm so much interested in the David Johnson, who was just there 2 months and had 5 complaints.
5 complaints.
Yes, and that actually, I feel like that's a big red flag, because if I am a customer for just a very short period and I had 5 complaints, it's something to worry about. So basically I feel, why, yes or no, it might be because the customers are sourcing different products from them. And
Okay.
that's the reason. And also another thing is that, particularly in this part of the world, like Nigeria, we hardly complain. We could just get something and we feel like it's not okay. We move on. That's the end of it. I'm not gonna go there again.
That's
Because for
true.
me, yeah, for me, I do it. But if I love a business, I give them a feedback. And when the feedback is not being carried out, they're not gonna see me again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Who spoke, please?
Precious.
Precious again. Thank you,
Yes.
Precious. Yes, I like that. Definitely that David Johnson. He's only been there 2 months and he's already complained 5 times. You know, yeah. So when it comes to complaints, there's no complaint that is too small or no reason, yeah, for complaint that should be ignored. It could be anything. Yes, it could be about the products. I'll give an example now. The supermarket that I usually go to, which is just like a 3 minute walk from me, it's like they don't prepare for when they're going to run out of stuff. So they can run out of a particular product, and for sometimes up to 2 months, they will not have it. Do you understand? They're definitely not serious when it comes to all that. But thank God they have competitors. Do you understand? They have competitors, so I know I can go to 2 other places, 3 other places. But then, they've lost money. I don't know what their reason is. But then if someone has complained or some people have complained, they have to take it seriously if they're serious about keeping their customers, especially because once upon a time they were the only ones in the area, and now they have they have two competitors who started last year, right? So this is important. But then you see how a business can use AI. Yeah, or AI can be used to look through the data, the customer data, and give them information on, wow, these are people likely. So this is information that has been given to AI. Okay, it's been given in the past. So AI can look at this information and see a pattern. Do you understand? Patterns like customers that have stayed a short time and have high complaints are likely to churn. Okay, are likely to churn, and we would also see how much they've spent. Do you understand? Because somebody could have stayed a short time and could have spent more than David. Somebody could have stayed 1 month, made more purchases. As Precious, you said, yeah, people don't complain, but in this kind of data, I'm sure this is like, okay, yeah. And Nigerians, there's some people that may complain. So a company that is serious about what they're doing, serious about their business, they want this kind of information. Okay. So thank you so much. So Precious has chosen David. Does anybody want to choose anybody else? So there are people with 5 complaints that did not churn. Why?
Those are like their old customers.
Okay.
Loyal
How do you know?
customers.
How do you know they're old customers?
Because they've stayed longer and they have high complaint, but they don't churn. Just like what Precious said. Maybe they like,
Okay.
maybe they have other products they like or something is keeping them.
Okay, so
But
give me an example.
Like
I'll give you
Aisha
one
Bello.
with the data in front of you. Give me one case like that.
Yes, Aisha Bello. She has stayed for long, 36, and she also have one of the highest complaint, 5.
Mm-hmm.
And yet,
Okay.
he's not churning, yes, ma'am.
Okay, no churning, and also one of the highest spends, right?
Yes,
In fact,
ma'am.
if not the second highest.
Highest.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. So all these patterns is what the AI model will look at, yeah, to train, so that when we have another table like this that has all this information apart from churn, yes or no, right? They would use all this information. The customer has been, okay, let me not even say. So give me a scenario, somebody whose voice I haven't heard. Give me a scenario using months as customer, complaint, monthly spend. Give me a scenario where AI would say, because we have now learned, how AI would reason from, looking at this data. So I want two scenarios. One, give me a scenario where, you will expect that the AI will say this customer will churn. So somebody will answer that question. Then another scenario using those columns is where you will agree with AI that the customer will not churn. So two questions, two people, two voices I haven't heard before, please. How many people are in this class? I can't see. Precious, please tell me how many we are, apart from me and Madam Petrina. How many people are here?
We
We're 11.
because we have
And 9 then.
So
We're 9.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
minus you and Petrina, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So we're 11. But how many I don't think I've heard up to 5 people's voices though. So somebody whose voice I haven't heard, and if hopefully you've been following along since we started, could you give me a scenario? So you don't have to use figures, but use the columns. Yeah. Could you give me a scenario where a customer will churn? Then somebody else give me a scenario where a customer will not churn. 5 seconds to answer. If nobody answers, then somebody who has spoken before, please speak.
Sorry, can you explain this word churn in this context?
Okay, so what churn is it means leave. That the customer will leave, stop, cease to be a customer. So that's what churn is, to leave. Okay, so the opposite of staying. So for this table, these customers, this is what's happened with them. Some are still customers. The others where with the yes, those have churned, they've left. But the no, they are still customers. Is that clear? Hello, who asked the question?
Yes, it's clear. Thanks.
Thank you. What's your name?
James?
James. Thank you, James. So are you going to answer one of them?
Sorry, can you come back with a question?
Okay, you want me to repeat the question again?
Yes.
Okay, so we've been looking at the different customers, and we've been explaining why some of them churned, why some of them didn't. Okay, so I just want you to mention a scenario, that would make a customer churn, or a scenario that would make a customer stay, using the columns months as customer, complaint, monthly spend. Those are what we call the features. When we were looking at the slides, we had features. So those are what we call the features. How many months they spent with the company, number of complaints, their monthly spend.
Okay, conventionally, let me pick number 9, or on your own column A, number 9, that's Fatima Musa. Stays for 18 months, and had complaint of 4 and spent 9,000. No. But your question is, what scenario can make any of them leave? We can use Peter Brown, who is leaving. 3 months, complaint 4. So for Peter Brown, that means in the 3 months he has spent, he has raised 4 complaints. So because of lesser number of experience, lesser duration, appear to be more in complaints. Relatively comparing to other persons who stay a longer period than him, and has generated up to 4 complaints. Whatever the reason is, that is not here in this scenario. But he has chances of leaving because he had got a more number of complaints, and within a small time he has spent in the community. In terms of spend, he had also, he has spent much. Comparing to other relative comparison with other customers as well, he has also spent much, 2,500 within 3 months, and had four complaints. So he has chances of leaving. I don't know if I answered what you want to hear.
Yes, beautiful.
Okay.
Even though I wanted you to mention a scenario, but you used him, that's fine. So I wanted a scenario like, a customer who has stayed for a short time, okay, and has high complaints, okay, and little spend, is most likely to churn. Yeah, I just wanted you to mention that scenario because obviously that's the pattern that the AI is looking out for. Yeah. So we've looked at this data and we can see, the reasons why AI would make the decisions that they will make. Yeah, you understand, from this pattern. So we've seen the pattern, short time, high number of complaints, then usually the churn will be yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great.
Okay,
Thanks.
great. Well done. James, right?
Yes, James.
Okay, well done. Does anybody else want to speak or have a question to ask?
Okay, ma, sorry, what if it's not likely the case? What if there's somebody that have stayed for long and also had the same complaint, but and monthly spend, but still churned?
Yeah, but still churned. Yes, that can happen. But you see, what it is that remember, this is information that has already happened, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now the AI, you give the AI this information, and now give it maybe a test to do. Okay. Now we would expect that the AI would have already read the pattern. Low number of months, high complaints, small spend, churn, yes, right? Now, there might be somebody too who is low number of months, right?
That's true,
high complaints, but might not churn in the future. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you see, the AI just acts on the information it's given, and that's why we don't say that when it does the test, the results have to be 100%. Do you understand? So the results could be the results are 92% to give room for those that kind of situation. Yeah. Thank you. Who just spoke?
Ugoma.
Oh, Ugoma again. Thank you, Ugoma.
Thank you, ma'am.
You see, thank you. So, yes, anybody else? Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? We're doing well with time. This is the last exercise, and then we'll go over the key points. But maybe I might still want to ask you guys questions, especially those whose voices I haven't heard. If you don't speak for the next class, there will be a bouncer at the door. Did Madam Olive hear your voice in the last class? No. Okay, stay back. Yes. So any questions? Any questions at all? From this data, do you understand how a model, an AI model is trained? Yeah. Remember that we said it looks at patterns. So this one obviously is the supervised. We have the labeling. Okay. Anybody? Any questions? No questions? Okay. So let me questions for you. Did somebody want to say something?
Yes. I wanted
Yes,
to
please.
ask.
Please speak louder though. I can't really hear you.
Oh, hello.
Okay,
Is
much
it better
much
now?
clearer. This is who, sorry?
Okay. This is Precious.
Precious again. Yes, I was
So,
like, that sounds like,
so
yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm just kind of like, so my head is just I don't know how to explain it. This get out learning all these things is kind of like turning my head upside down. So it got me thinking. Yeah. So I'm
Good.
just wondering.
Yes.
Now we have the supervised way we train the AI model, and there is
Yeah.
also the unsupervised where it learns pattern. Now, I recall you mentioned that these are the features, like, for instance, the way this data is being broken down, like monthly customer complaint, monthly spend, like those are the key features that we are feeding it. And
Yes.
I also heard you mention that, like, I don't know if you're the one, I don't know if I'm correct or not,
Mhm.
but I think I
Mhm.
heard when you mentioned something that has to say with now, these are like we feeding the AI this data. This is the structured way of training it. Now, you also mentioned something related to patterns. So I'm now wondering, is
Mhm.
it missing both? Are we using both the structured and unstructured way to train it on this particular data? Does that make sense? I don't know if
Yes, it
my
makes sense.
question
I
was
believe you're
clear.
talking about supervised and unsupervised. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. Thank you for that question. Very good question. So, you remember that with the supervised, the main thing about the supervised is that the data provided has labels. Do you understand? The data provided has labels. That's for the supervised. Unsupervised, there are no labels. Okay, that's the difference between the two. With this supervised, that so this is this now is the data that is we use to train. So with this particular supervised one, remember that I was saying it's like a teacher giving the questions and also giving the answers. You understand?
Mm,
So
mm.
labels is under the outcome, if you remember, is under the outcome. So the what do you call it? The AI can be given all this data, but it will not have the churned column. The churned column will not be there. That's the label. Do you understand? Churned. Is it yes or is it no? Yeah. So in this supervised one, what it is that all the features of the customer are there, and then the label is there, yes or no. Yeah. So it will learn. It's still a pattern, but it has the answer. It
Already.
has the answer already, so that helps it to learn. Now on the unsupervised one, it will have all this data but no answer, so it's going to look at the patterns
Oh,
itself. Do you understand? And know
oh,
whether I say yes or no.
oh, got it. Okay, got it. That's
You
that's clearer
understand?
now.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
going to put people, for the unsupervised, it can put them in groups. Those that have. So that's how it's going to use what it's going to use to, determine those that have been there for over so number of months, over 24 months, will be in a particular group. Those that are there for so number of months, so put them in groups. It could be according to months, right? And then other things, are their complaints high or low? So it uses a different method to still get to the same answer. It's still training, just that supervised has labels, so you can already see the outcome, the answers. Unsupervised does not have labels.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Got it. Then
Okay.
now
Yes. Yes.
I'm just wondering because I'm glad like we're using this data like it's a real life. You get what I mean? So I'm kind
Hmm.
of now wondering like what if let's say a customer um for instance, myself. So there's this supermarket I use, but
Yes.
at some point I was not.
Sorry, I didn't catch
They
that.
were
You
like,
said
"Oh
you were
my
not.
god! Like, where have you
Okay.
been?" Okay, so
Okay.
I said there is
Yeah.
this supermarket I use at some, like, it's my regular supermarket because it's very close to my place.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering, yes, I know I give them some complaint like, oh, XYZ, but I still
Mhm.
continue like using them, like it wasn't like really terrible. Now there was I'm just wondering. Now there was a period, let's say for instance, that supermarket, there was a period I was not in the country. So they didn't see me in that supermarket. So it's more like they didn't see me for a year plus. Now,
Mhm.
my question is that in such a situation, let's say this supermarket is trying to use AI to, see how they'll get better and all of that, and they didn't see me
Mhm.
for a year, would they kind of like say, okay, they've churned or she's not churned? I don't know.
Um.
I'm just wondering, how accurate the arrival of this churned and not churned is. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. But can you see that with some of this information, so they I understand what you're trying to say. So if they're given their data, and that's why you see there are different number of months. Okay, there are different number of months. So they will have will have their what they will use as their standard for saying whether so this person hasn't come. So they might say if this person hasn't come for over 6 months, they've churned, right? If this person doesn't come for after 12 months, it depends from business to business. And we can't really use a supermarket as an example, even though you're just asking that question, because with a supermarket, they don't have your details. So this is a business where you have your customers, they've been buying, the customer could even be another business. Okay. It could be another business, or it could be maybe you have
Oh, got it.
your skincare line and you deal with your customers personally. You understand? So you have their details, etc., etc. My sister has in fact this thing will be good for her, really good for her. She has an online store for women. So obviously it includes beauty, it includes cosmetics, skincare, and even other stuff that women would use. Okay, and she's had it since 2013. Definitely, a lot of her customers have churned since then, but if she's not actually following it, she might not know who has churned, you understand, who has stayed, or so it's good to have this regularly so that you can follow up those customers. I know she's done that from time to time, go after, because she has their details, find out from them, is there anything you need, why did you, why aren't you buying anymore, etc., etc. So that's the kind of thing that businesses would use this kind of exercise for, right? But they might do it every 2 years,
Okay.
or every year, stuff like that. Yeah. And obviously they're looking at everybody. Yeah. So this information has everybody, those that are still there, but they want to find out those who, have left, right? Or at least haven't bought in a long time. Why have they not bought? And if the person has complained, but the thing about it is that there's some people that are hard to satisfy. Yeah, so somebody that has been there for just 2 months and has 20 complaints, that one just likes to complain. Do you understand? It doesn't necessarily always mean that it's the business's fault, but because it's a business, they're not going to take it personally. They will still try and get customers back. I remember in the UK, the phone company, British Telecom, uh, they were doing their own, doing high prices, blah, blah, blah. Then competitors came up, VoIP phone, there's another company that costs much less. They lost a lot of customers. I'm sure they would have done this kind of exercise. Then they started going after their old customers, trying to give them incentives to come back to them. But for a lot of them, I'm sure it was too late because they had seen the light.
Yeah,
The customers had seen the light that,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I have a similar experience, but we can go on.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just giving that as an example. But yeah, it is interesting. Data is very, very interesting, and what AI can do is even yes,
Thank you
just
so much.
beautiful. Thank you, Precious. Thanks for your question. Um, Anybody else? Okay, we're getting to that time. So I want to ask you a few questions. Especially from voices I haven't heard though. What are the three types of training? Three types of training. Three types of AI model training. What are they? We've even during this session now, we've heard a few of them. But yeah, what are they? How many are there and what are the names? Was
I
anybody
think there,
writing notes?
I think
Yes.
there are three classification. Is it that one? Regression.
No, no. So the
Okay.
types of training. So we have tasks, which is what you're mentioning. Okay. Okay, give me the tasks then. Then I'll still ask about the training. What are the tasks? Go ahead.
Okay, but I said classification or
Yes.
categorization, regression. I can't remember it all, Baba.
Okay, who remembers the third one? Who remembers the third one? Nobody.
Reinforcement.
Say again?
Reinforcement.
No. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Ma'am.
Clustering. Thank you. Okay. Classification, regression, clustering. So remember that you have you all have the link to Microsoft Learn, the AI 900. Okay,
Okay.
where you can go
Okay.
through it there and then you can, the recording for this video will be available. So classification, regression, clustering, group similar
Okay, ma'am.
items. Yeah. Okay, great. So what are the types of learning? The
I think
types of learning.
the
Yes.
supervised,
Uh-huh.
the I think unsupervised as well.
Yes.
The third one, uh,
Reinforcement.
that's reinforcement.
Reinforcement. Thank
Yeah, yeah.
you. I was thinking that someone gave that answer. Well done. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So well done. So that's your machine learning. We're still going to use a lot of tools. What I've shown you with Excel, there are a number of Microsoft AI tools that can actually do the what's it called? That will do the training, okay, and bring out results when you put in that data. And there are different types. There's one that involves, one having to code. There's one that involves low code, not that much coding. There are the ones that involve no code. But what we just looked at was how the AI would reason, okay? How it would reason when it's given data based on what it's being fed or trained. Okay, well done, guys. Very well done. Any other questions before we go? So remember your features and your labels. Yeah. So can you see labels is outputs, churned, yes or no? Yeah. So in our own case, the features were monthly spend, um, number of complaints, which is like, number of complaints and tenure. Yeah, number of months they've stayed. So those are the features of that data. And then we have our labels. Okay. Any other
So,
questions? Yes.
depending on the data available, the
Mhm.
features can change. That's what I'm getting to know now.
So what it is that with this, the features, the labels, this is the data that is fed to the AI, just like I showed you the Excel sheets. Okay, that's the data that is fed. So if we go back to the Excel sheet right here, all these are the features about the customer. Yeah, up to monthly spend. All these are the features. Remember there we saw, okay, age, but the real ones, the ones that are important is not the customer ID, okay, the name, yeah, the name of the customer, how many months they spend, that's a feature, okay, as a customer, how many complaints they've made, that's a feature. Monthly spend is a feature. The label is the churned column is the label, yeah, which has either yes or no. So all this information is what is put into the AI model for supervised learning, labels and
Oh,
features.
okay. So my question is,
Yes.
does the label change depend on data, like depend on the data available? Right.
Yes.
Sorry,
So that
feature.
data will be
Sorry.
given. Yeah. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
I was referring to features. Like for instance, in this case, we
Okay.
have yes. Depending on the data that is available, the data we wanted, like we want to work with,
Yes.
they will have the features might change.
Yeah, but when you say change from what?
So change, like in this case, the feature for this particular one you gave us, the features
Yes.
here at the monthly customer.
I got it. I got
Yeah,
it. I got it.
exactly.
Yes, definitely will change. So this one is to do with
Okay,
customers and customer churn.
okay,
Yeah. So
okay,
there's all other kinds of data that yeah can be fed, and the features will be different. Yes.
different. Okay,
Yeah. I'll give you an example.
and
You know how they
okay,
maybe an example is having information about a whole load of people, okay, and what their demographics are, okay, what's their highest level of education, okay, what's their net worth at the moment, okay. So in that we're trying to find out whether having a masters, those that have masters have a higher net worth. You understand? So that net worth will be the label, okay.
uh,
The name of the person, their demographics, different demographics. Where did they grow up? Where did they, go to? What universities did they go to? Did they go to university at all? What level of school did they get up to, and stuff like that? You understand? So that one you're using it to predict how rich they will become.
yeah,
Okay, does the level of education have any effect on the wealth of the person? So I'm just giving that as an example. Yeah, so that's a different set of
yeah,
features
it makes
and a
sense.
different label.
Okay, got it. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I'm
You're
sure I
welcome.
asked a lot of questions because
Oh
I
no,
don't
that's
know a little bit.
beautiful. No, everyone is learning. I trust. I like people asking questions. I love it. Do you understand? If you are the classes I normally do, some of the classes I do, I give points, and I reward the person with the highest point at the end of the day. Do you understand? And I give points for asking questions. I give points for answering questions, even if they're wrong. They have a particular number of points, and if they're right, they have more, but I give points for asking questions. Yeah, because it makes the class lively. It provokes other people also to think of stuff and maybe ask their own questions. A quiet class it's not good for the trainer. The trainer will feel lonely, and left alone. Okay, people, it is 1:46. Any other questions? Any other questions before I leave you to enjoy the rest of your Saturday or the rest of your weekend? Any other questions? No? Okay, so
So,
how has it been? Yes, go
okay,
ahead.
my last week we stopped at Microsoft Foundry. So how
Yes.
does that connect with this one we launched today?
So there are different areas. Foundry, not sure about Foundry. So with what we've learned today, what we'll be interested in is a tool that we can use to train the data. So, I mentioned it earlier that there are some tools, even though I just just showed you the data in Excel. Okay, but we'll try and narrow down a tool that is no code, where you don't have to code, just put in the data and see how it does it, right? But that in the Foundry, you might use that for future classes. Okay, so MJ had asked you to set up Foundry, right? Yeah, so it could be used because it's an AI tool. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Microsoft has a lot of AI tools that can, do different things. So, yeah, we'll be using some of them, especially for the project. Okay. Thank you for that question. Anybody else? Okay. So I'd like to say thank you Thank you very, very much for attending today's class. Apologies again for the mix up with the link. That shouldn't happen again. And even if there's a change, we'll put it early enough so that you see it in the group chat. Okay. But thank you very much for joining. Enjoy your Saturday, and yeah, if you do have any questions, you can always put them in the chat. So have a wonderful weekend and take care.